I like Brunson, and I have to admit, before this year, I never really watched him because I don't watch other teams, so I
Yeah.
didn't watch him at Dallas or anything like that. Brunson. He's that calming influence that we need, that facilitator that we need. Plus, if you notice, even in that Memphis game, he ain't afraid to put it on the line. He took that charge from Ja. Most players, number one, they would have been afraid that they were going to be on
Uh,
ESPN. They would have
Ja,
backed him out of the way.
Ja do it to you.
Oh, yes, listen. He was about to do it to Brunson.
Chuckin Buckets, man. We back at it, man. It's Coach out, man. That's KB. What's going on, KB?
What's good, man? We're good, man. Welcome back, man. Another round, ain't it?
Hey, another round. Hey, opening week. This is Sunday, October 23rd, man. We watched a week of basketball, and I already got some strong opinions. Tonight, we're going to talk about the East, but before we get into the East, man, what's going on with the Lakers, Biddles?
Oh, my goodness, boy. Well, I'm over here distraught now, man. Just watching the game in, man. But, we was talking about it. It come back to anybody named Russell Wilson, Russell Westbrook. I mean, anybody named Russ is a problem right now for us, man.
Hey, it is, man. It's like this dude. I don't know. It's like, one of the things I used to like about Russ Westbrook, man, he used to be so passionate about the game, man. It's like now, I don't know. I guess he ain't in the situation he likes. So some of that passion seemed to be gone. So I think it's time for old Rob Pelinka to get rid of him or whatever, man. They got to figure out something.
Yeah, man. It's gonna make him happy. It's gonna put him in a better situation too, man. I just don't think it's a good fit for us right at this point.
Yeah. But, man, tonight, man, we're talking about the East, man. Them Celtics look good, dog. First game out, Jalen and Jason Tatum, man, 35 piece. Dog, they dropping 35 buckets together, dog. It look like they don't even care that they got a new coach. They say, man, it don't matter. Just put somebody in the suit on the bench.
Right.
It's just, we'll handle it.
You're right. I think the biggest thing there, man, is that Jaylen Brown, Tatum, like, as long as they put their egos to the side, Jaylen Brown don't really try to be the number one, role. Kind of play his role because he can take over when he needs to, when Tatum out of the game, be that number one option, man. But when they're in there and can kind of feed off each other, the boys look good. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, man. So we got a special guest tonight, man. I've known this guy for years now, man. He's a very good coach. He's coached high school ball, still coaches high school ball. Coach AAU for years. He AAU track. He Mr. Do It All. Originally from New York, man. Listen, he is a diehard New York Knicks fan. He gonna come on here and probably try to tell us why the Knicks might be winning the East this year. So let's go ahead and bring him on, man. We're going to bring on Coach Stan. What's going on, Coach Stan?
Hey, Coach I and KB, man. Thank you guys for having me. How y'all doing?
Hey, man, we're good, man. We're good. The Knicks.
Listen, you're exactly right. I am a diehard Knicks fan, but I'm a realistic Knicks fan.
Okay.
Because for me, I've been a Knicks fan. I'll tell you how I started liking the Knicks. I grew up, Patrick Ewing and I are about the same age. So I grew up being a really big Patrick Ewing fan when he was at Georgetown. And so when he got drafted to New York, I started watching the Knicks. And then in the late 80s, I moved to New York. And you guys know as sports fans, if you ever go to see your team in a live event at their home arena, ain't nothing like it.
Facts.
So once I walked into the Garden, man, and I'm watching Oakley, Starks, Mason, all them cats, man. And I was blessed to be able to go to a couple of their training camps because they did their training camps locally in New York where I worked. And Xavier McDaniel, who was a hometown boy here from South Carolina at the time, he played with the Knicks, got some picks and stuff. So I am a diehard Knicks fan, and I know you guys run into younger fans who change teams where their players go. Man, listen. When Carmelo got traded, somebody asked me, they said, Coach, you're going to start liking, and I don't even remember what team he got traded to initially. Portland. I'm like, you crazy? I only like Carmelo because he was a Knick. I don't do that.
That's right. You're right, man. A lot of people now follow players. I I ain't gonna lie, I might be one of them dudes, man. I'm a Atlanta Hawks fan, but I grew up a Pistons fan, and once they broke up, once Chauncey and Rasheed Wallace and all them was gone, it was kind of hard because it was just kind of hard being a Pistons fan. Just to be honest with you.
It can't be no harder than being a Knicks fan, bro.
Well, you're right. You're right.
We have been stinking on purpose, bro.
Like we talked about that last episode, like me and KB said, y'all was good when y'all had Patrick Ewing. Y'all didn't win a chip, but y'all was always in the thick of things. Like, and then he went through a whole bunch of years of just drafting. It seemed like guards all the time. It's like, what's going on with the draft picks up in New York?
I'm not a conspiracy theory kind of guy or a superstitious kind of guy, but here's what I think. When the Knicks traded Patrick Ewing away, especially after him staying there, when he could have left when he was younger to go maybe team up with Jordan or whatever to win a ring, and he said, no, I want to stay here. When they traded him, the worst vision in my adult life is seeing Patrick Ewing in a Orlando Magic jersey. Seattle Supersonics jersey.
Right.
This is the dude, he bled orange and blue to the end.
Yeah, facts.
And listen, they don't make players like him anymore. He ain't taking no rest games, no load management.
Nope.
Patrick Ewing came, he laced up his boots every night. He came to do it every night. And then
That's
they
right.
trade him off. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, for a while after that trade, even though I was a fan, I was salty, man. I still to this day don't like Jim Dolan.
Hey.
I believe that, man.
Listen, that dude, he can go take a flying leap somewhere. I just don't like him, man.
Yeah. And I believe that, man. I couldn't even believe that Patrick Ewing had played for another team, man. I had this conversation with maybe one of my homeboys maybe a couple months ago. And it was like, yeah, Ewing played with the Magic. I said, the Magic?
Yes.
Like, when did that happen? Like,
Yes.
obviously, like I said, towards the end of the career, and like nah, like why he was a Knick for life, man.
Yes, sir.
I honestly don't even remember him having a bad game. You know, he was just consistent with
it. It's consistent, exactly consistent. Yeah. Like I was telling KB, man, we grew up with the Knicks. Patrick Ewing, John Starks, and the beef between at least on the court beef with John Starks and Michael Jordan. Them, you know what I'm saying? In the playoffs, like Anthony Mason, old ugly tail, just holding it down like the old school Draymond Green.
Yes, exactly right. Anthony Mason was Draymond Green before Draymond Green was Draymond Green. Oakley the same way. Those dudes live by a different code. They play by a different code. Unfortunately for us Knicks fans, we're never going to see that again.
Yeah, I don't think so. So right now your Knicks are what are y'all 1-1?
Yeah, we're 1-1. We pounded who the Pistons? Yeah, we pounded the Pistons. We would have beat Memphis, except for Ja, baby. You can't do nothing with it.
That was a good game.
You can just bow down.
That was a good game. That was a good game because they let y'all back into the game, man, and y'all had opportunities.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be the question for y'all. Like, who gonna close the game for y'all?
Yeah. Well, the biggest standout to me in that game, and it's surprising that I'm saying this because last year the word was our coach didn't even like him, Cam Reddish.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I was telling KB. At least he the outside shooter that, I know RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett to me is a scorer. He's not really a shooter. It's a different, the difference. I think Cam Reddish adds that shooting ability, but I'm like KB, like at the end of the game though, like when Ja going and doing Ja, you know what I'm saying, doing Ja-like things. Who for the Knicks you think gonna be that guy that, because you got Julius Randle, but you got RJ Barrett too,
Well, I'm gonna tell you, especially if we need a jump shot. And this is just my opinion. I'm giving the ball to Fournier.
Okay.
Evan Fournier can get buckets. He can get those jump shots. But I like Brunson, and I have to admit, before this year, I never really watched him because I don't watch other teams, so I didn't watch him at Dallas or anything like that. Brunson. He's that calming influence that we need, that facilitator that we need. Plus, if you notice, even in that Memphis game, he ain't afraid to put it on the line. He took that charge from Ja. Most players, number one, they would have been afraid that they were going to be on ESPN. They would have got away.
Ja do it to you.
Oh, yes, listen. He was about to do it to Brunson. He was about to do it to Brunson, man.
Ja get it in, man. So in the East, like I say, the Knicks. I mean, I know it's early, it's first week, but they 1-1. There's only a couple of teams in the East that actually made it through the first week unscathed, and that was Boston, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Washington.
Right.
Washington being the surprise for me.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I told you I'm a realistic Knicks fan. In my mind's eye, right now, we're not going to beat Boston. We're not going to beat Philadelphia. I'll tell you a team that I'm not afraid of, only because they self-implode. I'm not afraid of Brooklyn.
No.
KD is KD, but as long as you got Kyrie there, Kyrie is gonna sabotage your success. He just really is.
Yeah, KB hadn't been high. He hadn't been high on Brooklyn since they put the little group together.
And it shows. It shows.
Well, speaking of the Knicks, they were supposed to come to New York. KD and Kyrie were supposed to come to New York.
Oh, yeah.
At the last moment, I guess Kyrie called them and said, we ain't going to New York. Let's go to Brooklyn. Hindsight being 2020, I would love to have KD, but I'm so glad we didn't get Kyrie.
Yeah.
But people, what is it about Kyrie, man? Kyrie is a baller, but it's like he can't. I don't know. He ain't available. My biggest problem is he don't be available for 82 games. That's my biggest problem.
I'll tell you what my problem is with Kyrie. Kyrie on the court, we cannot deny that dude is a bucket. But unfortunately for the NBA and purists like us, Kyrie has already won a ring. So he ain't hungry no more. He don't care. He's already won a ring.
Yeah, I got you.
He has no motivation to be great at this point.
Yeah.
He don't care about that.
But in the day and age, man, where you don't get a lot of people who are available all the time, to be honest, KG went on social media the other day and he was like, look, man, you should be available for 82 games. I don't care who you are. He's like, the season is 82. You got preseason is 13. I think he said games. He said you should be available. If you can, he said the trainer tell you can't play. He said, man, tell him F that, man. Shoot me up. Do whatever you gotta do. Get me back on the court. You're not about to stop this grind. And I think we're in a day and age where Kyrie one of them dudes, man. It's for whatever reason. I'm not challenging none of his off the court, whatever purposes and stuff like that. But you gotta play, dog.
Yeah, you got to. Like, listen, I can't go to my job and be like, nah, I ain't working today. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to call in, you know what I'm saying, something like that. But I gotta be available. And this no different. These guys are signed up for a job. Fans come in, kids buying tickets in months in advance, maybe LeBron play, maybe he don't. I mean, it's killing the game though.
Well, it is. And think about what we're talking about. Now, we're not talking about building skyscrapers or lifting cars. We're talking about playing basketball.
Exactly.
Playing basketball.
And that's all. Like, listen, and you get, a couple months off during the summer. At least like at our job, we get vacation, but that's your vacation. You know what I'm saying? You get those days off, and it's like we just want y'all to show it. And that's another thing, like KB mentioned, man. Like, I don't know if I be wanting to buy tickets. Like, if LeBron coming to Charlotte, I hope he play. You know what I'm saying? But like you pay, they charging like he gonna play, and then you done bought that.
And they ain't gonna give you a refund if he don't play.
Right.
Nah.
Well, it's just to me that's the danger of being a fan of a player instead of a team.
Yeah.
Because I know this.
That's a good point.
My wife and I, we go to a couple of few Knicks games a year. We go to when they come to Atlanta. Well, I tell you what, we go to Atlanta, we go to Charlotte, and we go to New York. So I know that no matter what night we go, I'm gonna see my team.
Right.
I ain't got to worry about it. Now, Derrick Rose, who probably is my favorite Knick right now, he may not play, but it's all good. I'm going to see my team.
That's a good point. I never thought about it like that. Like, when you go see your team, it don't really matter who's suiting up because you're going to see your team. So earlier you said you're not worried about the Nets.
No.
KB, what about Milwaukee? How they look this first? They 2-0 right now.
Milwaukee look good, man. Them boys have been putting in some work in the offseason. And I think you can tell Giannis been playing in the offseason, which I don't think he's been doing that previously, but he came in like ready. You know what I'm saying? It was like no tune-up. Hey, I got to, try to get things right. But the boys look good now. The boys look good.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna tell you a surprise in the East. I know, like I say, it's just 1 week, and it's not like we overreacted, but Miami 0-2.
Mm.
Miami Heat 0-2. That's all I'm saying. Miami, 1-2. I'm sorry, 1-2. But all three games have been at Miami. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not like them. I just feel like they better. They basically right there with the Lakers in the West. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
I don't know what's going on down there. I didn't get to watch much of that, but they lost to Houston, I think, and the 76ers. And I think they took a L to Boston, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess you have played two of the top guys, but if you're supposed to be one of the top teams,
Right. You can't lose to Houston.
Yeah, that's what that Houston game is. That Houston game, you can't lose that game. Them boys like all 21 years old. I mean, them boys 21 years old. You can't lose that Houston game.
They still way behind the years.
That's right. So realistically, Coach Stan, where you see the Knicks finishing, man? You see them making the playoffs and making a run, or getting tossed in the first round?
Well, if we can continue to play good defense, let those young guys play, let them gel, let Brunson, because you mentioned Julius Randle earlier. Julius Randle has to understand now we don't need him to be a point forward. Because
that's gonna be hard.
Brunson is going to set you up, and he's going to find you if you're open. So if he's able to adjust with that role, we continue to play good defense. One of our pluses is Mitchell Robinson on the boards. Mitchell Robinson has been a beast on the boards. I honestly think we're going to make the playoffs, whether it's the playoff game or we're in the tail end of that. Because like I said, there's only a few teams that I just know that we can't compete with in a playoff situation, but the rest of them right now I'm not afraid of.
Okay, and that would, if y'all made it in the 8th spot, I think Boston gonna be in that number 1 spot. I do want to make a correction, so Miami lost to Chicago, which that's even worse than I don't know. I don't hold Chicago that high, to be honest. They in Boston and Toronto, and they beat Toronto. So Toronto, I don't know if that's a great win or not. I know they still got Siakam, but I thought once Kyle Lowry, even though he's a veteran, older veteran, I thought once they lost him, they lost a little bit of that leadership. But back to the Knicks, man. If y'all do make that 8th spot, I think y'all will have to play either Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee and Boston gonna finish one or two.
Yeah, and those are right now the best two teams in the East. You guys mentioned when I was backstage, you mentioned how Boston is playing. I don't know if you guys talked about the coaching situation. That's a rough situation, but I think the players in Boston understand that they're professionals. So they can't. Nobody in the NBA is going to feel sorry for them if they start losing and they go, "Oh, well, our coach is gone." So
yeah. Well, they playing. That's what I was saying. They playing as if nothing ever happened. They like, whatever, dog. We just need a body over there to sub people in and out.
And that's bad for MA, because I don't think they're gonna bring them back anyway.
Nah, me
they're still not gonna bring them back. They winning.
Yeah. Facts. So you like what you see out of the Celtics, KB?
I mean, I can't deny. First show I was like, Miami. It's early, but
it's early.
Like what Coach Stan said, and I kind of mentioned before, like the players got to play, and the boys playing. I think at the end of the day, like when they get in the crunch situations, that's what's going to tell everything. You're saying, can that coach call that timeout at the right time when them boys, got their feathers ruffled or anything like that, or Tatum not playing right, Smart doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? Like let's see when they back against the wall how the boys come out.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon, that trade they made in the offseason, Malcolm looked good out there. He's a solid point guard. I want to know. I mean, on another show, I would want to know why Marcus Smart dyed his hair all green. But hey, man, do you? I guess do you?
I mean,
yeah. So who else you got it? Who would you say the top 4 teams in the East gonna be? This first half of the season, Coach Stan.
Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, and
that 4th one is the tough one right there.
Yes.
I'd be wanting to say Miami, man, because of how they play the defense and the culture. But at any point, if Ice Trae get hot, he can, like he been doing the last 2 seasons, just carrying the Hawks.
Well, Atlanta is one of those scary teams because of that. You don't know, and he is capable of carrying a team. Listen, he has become the biggest villain right now in the Garden.
I know. I was gonna ask you about that. Like y'all don't like old Ice Tray up there.
Well, you know what? We love to be able to hate him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Nick
I got you.
We need that bad guy. You know, we need that guy to come in and drop 55 like Michael Jordan or whatever. You know, so Trey, but Trey embraces it. You know,
he does. He does.
There's not a lot of players that, because when you walk into the Garden and you got all them Knick fans booing you, bruh, if you ain't got the right intestinal fortitude, it's a long night, bruh.
And I think he like you said, I think he liked that, and it actually be elevating his game.
Oh yeah.
No.
So
I like Trey too, man. Like I was saying, like they gonna go just as far as Trey take them. But what I done seen too, when Trey get them traps, Trey he'll turn that ball over.
He will
play out some things like that, and I think that's what really hurt them was like I said, they were a young team, got a lot of talent down there. But I think that's the good side and the bad side that you got to take. Like somebody else got to have to step up on that team too.
Yeah.
That's right, man. We got a local hometown hero up there in Charlotte, man. Is Charlotte gonna make any noise? Bryce McGowan's up there. And then shout out to Carlos, man. Carlos on the coaching staff up there, one of KB former players, man. He's on the coaching staff with Charlotte, so that's good too. Hey, they got LaMelo, they got Melo, they got Bryce, they got some young talent up there. What Charlotte gonna look like, KB?
I think the boys young, man, no doubt. I watched them, I guess a couple of nights ago. No doubt they can fill up the bucket.
Can they play D?
Not seeing it on the defensive side of things. I think that's what's really going to hurt the boys. Like they run in. I like the way Rozier playing. Like Hayward, saying he coming into his role on the team, which is the biggest thing I think for him, because he not the Hayward of Boston. You know what I'm saying? He not the Hayward of old. He the Hornets Hayward right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they need right now. And once LaMelo, kind of get back in the groove, I think they slide into a play-in game. But
okay,
they get a veteran on that team that's going to be able to help them. I don't see them doing too much past that.
What about you, Coach Stan? What you think about them Hornets? They young, they can run you now.
Yeah, I agree with KB. Also, the Hornets are going to go as long as Melo can stay healthy. Melo's got to stay healthy. He's got to work on that now, especially because of the type of injuries that he's having. When you get on those ankle and especially if you're a cutter and you're a slasher, you got to have your wheels.
That's right. That'll mess with your athleticism, and that's one of his biggest strengths. His athleticism. He can get to. It seems like he can get to the bucket whenever he wants to.
Oh sure.
So sure. I mean, you got that, and then another young team got Cleveland Cavaliers. You got, you know what I'm saying? You got Spider over there. You got Darius Garland out right now with something with his eyelid. He had a laceration on his eyelid or something. But they got like three. Now that they got Spider, they got 3 All-Stars on that team. Like, shouldn't that be like, we should be talking, making a run with 3 All-Stars, right?
That to me, the reason that right now nobody's looking at them hard like that is that it's Cleveland, man. It's Cleveland, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen. At some point they got to be. Listen, you got 3 All-Stars. Come on now, we got to be able to make 4th, 5th seed now.
It's Cleveland, man.
KB, come on now, 3 All-Stars.
At the end of the day, like you said, it's Cleveland, man. I need to see how Spider fit into that, man. Like, and no discredit for him because he did his thing in Utah. He definitely put up numbers coming out of Louisville, but I think he's still that strong number 2 option, man. I know we touched on like number 2 options before, and I just don't think he can carry the team. You know what I'm saying? He can get a bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be a volume shooter, a volume scorer.
Right.
But I don't think he that guy that can get Cleveland over the top.
That's KB thing, Coach Stan. He got the NBA full of number 2s. Ain't nobody number 1.
It's hard to get that number 1 option, man. You got to embrace that thing, man.
Hey, they got Karis LeVert, they got Spider, they got Evan Mobley. I mean, Darius Garland when he come back. You know what I'm saying? So,
listen. As a Knicks fan, I ain't scared.
Yeah. Okay. I see you. Okay. Well, I think it's going to be I think the top 4 is, like you said, Boston, Milwaukee. I want to say the 76ers because Joel Embiid is that guy. Harden is Me and KB talked about it. Harden a good number 2, and I guess that means I guess Embiid make him number 1. But what else they got? What else they got outside of that? Tobias Harris is he still?
Yeah, Maxey there. I like Maxey.
Maxey, all right. Yeah, I like Maxey.
He's straight, and they got what other shooter I'm trying to think of. But
I just don't see them having enough to beat the Bucks. It's gonna be hard to beat the Bucks and the Celtics because of how deep they are too.
right.
Like the Bucks go real deep, and then like with the Bucks, they got somebody who can play anybody, and that's Drew Holiday, man. It's like, it seems like he can play 1 through 4, really, and on occasion if he need to get down there in the post and bang too. So we're gonna see how that play out. Do y'all got any of the holiday games? I think y'all got a Christmas game, don't y'all?
We have an actual Christmas and Thanksgiving game, man.
We're
the next, baby.
Listen, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, listen, man. No disrespect to the Knicks, but y'all ain't been relevant, but it's still the Knicks, like you say. It's still.
And it's the Garden, baby.
You're right, though. You're right, man. The Knicks kind of like the Cowboys. Like, no matter how good or bad they're gonna be, they're gonna play on Thanksgiving. They're gonna play on the holiday.
Right.
The Bulls got a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
Hey, sound like it. It sound like the Cowboys started out hot this year. So the Knicks might start. Who knows?
Listen, every year, Coach, you know my son Shy. Every year at the beginning of basketball season, especially like if the Knicks win their first 2 games,
yeah,
I'll text them. I'm like, "Yo, we in first place, bro."
Hey, you got it. Hey, you got to claim it when you got it. You know what I'm saying? You got to claim it when you got it.
I said, "We run the East, baby."
Okay. So before we get out of here, Coach Stan, tell me on the Knicks, who has to have a good season for you guys to make the playoffs?
Brunson has got to have a good season. Julius Randle. We got to get more out of RJ than we did in the Memphis game.
Yeah.
We would have won that game if he would have had a regular RJ night, but I think he only walked away with 10 points. We didn't pay him all that money for 10 points.
That's what I was just about to say. Y'all gave him the bag too.
Yeah. So and to me, Brunson, Randall, and RJ are our big 3. You know.
Okay.
So they gotta. I'm gonna borrow a word from Clyde Frazier. They gotta be cohesive.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got to get play from the others. You know.
Yeah.
As long as we get consistent play from the others, like I said, I got no visions of grandeur that we're gonna win the East. You know, but I want to be a threat. You know, I want to go back to the days, like you said, when we played against Michael Jordan. We didn't win because Michael Jordan won, but we were there every year.
Every year. That's facts. Every year. KB, what you think, man? You thinking the Knicks might have a spot in that play-in?
I think they definitely get in there, man. I think the key thing, like he said, like those top 3 on that team play, but I think you got to look at like Fournier, Obi Toppin, like when these cats come in and doing like playing those roles.
Cam Reddish.
Like Cam, give me 10 to 12. 10 to 12 points, and on the other side, give me that defensive side because he got the length. He got the length where he can, not necessarily lock somebody up, but you know what I'm saying, he can take a couple fouls for these cats.
Yeah, and they got the wily veteran in Derrick Rose. I mean, we just named off about 7 people, fellas. So I mean, the Knicks might be able to slide in that 5th or 6th spot. Yeah,
if we get in there 5th or 6th, we gonna be around the round. If we get in there 5th, anything below that,
because if you're in the 6th, 7th, 8th, that's when you playing them top dogs. But if you can get in that 4th, 5th, or 6th, you kind of it's in there because that's that Atlanta Hawks territory. You know what I'm saying. Miami Heat, depending how their season goes, or the 76ers. I think it's like I think Miami or 76ers can get that 3rd spot. Just depends, and then that 4th spot mean they ain't having the season they thought they was having anyway. You know what I'm saying. So, KB, you got anything else before we get up out of here, dog?
I think that's it, man. But I think Russell Westbrook just missed another shot. It just happened.
Hey, next show we're gonna talk about the NBA West contenders, man, and we definitely gotta talk about these Lakers because Bron, my guy, but I got a bone to pick with Bron, man, and we're gonna get into it. But we want to thank Coach Stan, man, for coming on to Chuckin Buckets, man. We talking. Hey, speaking of Chuckin Buckets, listen, there's a difference between chucking and getting buckets. And I need RJ not to be a chucker. I need him to get buckets.
Thank you guys for having me on it. I really enjoyed talking basketball with you guys. I love your show, and we'll be watching and supporting. And I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about my Knicks, baby.
There it is, man. For Coach Stan, KB, this is Coach I, Chuckin Buckets. We out.